Hey, what's up everybody? This is angryhippielady, and we are back for another episode here on the YouCraft server. So today, as you can already see, this is not going to be a day to sit here and watch me do amazing things, because all I'm going to be doing is digging while I talk about this. So, you know, for the past week or so, we've kind of known this was going to happen. But my mom has a friend who passed away recently, and, you know, although I never met the guy, I knew a lot about him, and, you know, got to know him on a personal level, even though I never really met him, which is kind of strange to think of, but I guess we kind of do that every day, and, you know, hearing about other people through one mean or another, or one piece of media or another, you know, and I don't know, you know, it actually affected me, which is kind of strange. Like, I'm not upset about it or well, that kind of sounds bad, but it's not like I'm mourning after this person, but, you know, it got me thinking about the inevitable kind of thing, and so I've been sitting here digging. And I was holding off the digging until I had something that I really wanted to think about for a while, and, well, I found my thinking thing. And I just wanted to kind of bring you guys into my head a little bit with this subject, because I've talked about similar type things, you know, things that you wouldn't normally, I guess, hear from in a gaming video, but it's just, I don't know, it just brought up a lot of things for me. Once again, you know, it's not like I'm getting sad, or not depressed, but getting sad or anything about it. It's just kind of interesting to see the people go through their paces and everything, and just kind of come together. And also it's interesting to hear how people have dealt with it, and how people do deal with grief and loss and stuff like that. And I don't know, this one's been quite interesting, because like I said, you know, I know this person, but I never met them. And I kind of knew the family, but I had never met them. And so hearing about the process of everything has interested me, which maybe that makes me strange. I already knew I was strange, so nothing new to me. But, you know, I had to make a playlist, of course, because the wife to this man wanted particular songs and everything, and mom, of course, didn't know how to do it. So I ended up doing all that, and got to talking to her about it. And, you know, this family seems really at peace with everything, which is something that I haven't experienced with other families. A lot of people that I've been through loss, you know, with, they've really just kind of, some of them have just gotten really quiet and don't talk about it. Others, they try to joke about it and everything, and kind of laugh it off, but eventually, you know, it gets to them and stuff like that. This family, they've taken it really well, at least from what I've gathered from talking to mom. And so, of course, I don't know everything. But with all that, it brought up the whole, you know, what's gonna happen in the end. And sometimes, I don't give a shit. I mean, whatever happens, happens. I'm dead. It's not gonna be a big deal, to me, because I'm already dead. Um, at that point, I kind of give up my rights to say anything. um, but I think this is common for everybody, is that when we experience such a loss, as death of a friend, family, whatever, acquaintance, we kind of, maybe it's not as strong in other people, but I think a lot of us kind of get into this pensive thought of what happens, and what is this person that I knew, what are they going through right now, if they're going it through anything at all, and what is it like? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it, what's there? And there's been nights that I've had a lot of issues with that. Just trying to comprehend that there is something other than this. And no, that's not like a religious thing. That's just a curiosity for curiosity's sake thing. Cause it is interesting. It's something that maybe we can't experience here, and it could be that it's just death here is going into another life somewhere else, or some other time, or whatever. We don't know. But it just brings it up, and it's been on my mind a whole lot, and there were a couple of nights that I just kind of sat around thinking all night about what could possibly be on the other side. Yes, there's a question mark in that statement, which is kind of strange to have a question mark in a statement, but the question mark was if there is another side, leaving that kind of open, because it is an unknown thing. It's just it's hard for a finite mind to understand, and we get so caught up in the here, the now, the thinking, and sometimes even in normal situations you think, how could it be any different? How could I live a life that's any different from this? And I've noticed that in other parts of my life. I've thought I couldn't live any other way than the way I live, or I can't do this any other way than the way I do it. And that is a little closed-minded. It definitely is. Because there's always some different, another way that things could be done, that things could be lived, stuff like that. But I think that's a lot of what happens whenever we think about our inevitable end. Some of it is, the whole losing of family and friends and all that stuff, and so we rely on religion that says that there is this place where we all go, and it's happy and go lucky unless you're bad, and then it's not so happy and go lucky, but hey, everybody else is there, so yay. But I don't know. It's just, I wonder what is kind of at the end, what happens at the end. Do we just kind of relive our life, completely over, see it all over again, and experience it all again? And what, do we grow old again in our memories and once again reach our death, and at that, do we once again relive our life? Oh god, I had never thought about that. Oh man, how have I never thought about that? That's like one of those thoughts that you get when you're high. uh, but interesting, but very unlikely kind of thought. Um, Something that I've also thought of recently is, what if, there is an after where you're neither living, not neither, you're not living, but you're still around, like your soul or spirit or whatever, the part of you that is you. Not your body or anything like that, but what makes you you is still around. And it can go wherever, whenever, and just exist, kind of, just kind of be there and see things that you could have never seen, and you could stay around and watch people grow up or grow old or whatever, and be a ghost basically, but not be confined to Earth, be able to go wherever, whether that be another planet, another galaxy, whatever. I mean, if there is a paranormal existence, then it could be possible that there is a way for that part of you to go anywhere. But anyway, that it's just weird thoughts like that, and I get them, and I start thinking about what I would do and how that would be, and that's just been on my mind, because that's what's always on my mind whenever I know someone or an acquaintance or friend, family, whatever, that has passed away. And kind of go over it in my head. Although I know it doesn't do any good, because we won't know until it happens. And we may never know until it happens, it's one of those things that we all want to know. We don't want to be afraid of it anymore, because it is a scary thing, because it's the unknown, and unknown things are scary, and it is scary, Every day you wake up, you're a little bit closer. Which is depressing and stuff like that, but I mean, it's true. Every day we wake up, we're a little bit closer to our end date, our expire date. Best if used by date, however you want to put it. And there are people that go through life and they don't think about the end, and good for them, because then they don't have to go through the existential crisis and wonder, what am I supposed to do before I die? And what do I want to do before I die? Some people have a bucket list. I have a bucket list. I have a list of things that I definitely want to do before I die. Some of them are simple. Some of them are kind of big. Some of them are things that I know I will never do. But, hey, maybe. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to be going on in 10, 15 years down the road? I don't know what's going to be going on tomorrow. a lot of times. I mean, I'm basically what I'm doing right now is a lot of what I do in my day-to-day life is recording. Every day I record, render, upload. I post to different places about my videos, either to get them out there, to find other YouTubers to connect with, you know, whatever. Networking, in other words. And advertising. But that, I mean, that right now is my everyday life. And I don't know, you know, in high school, this was not even in my mind's eye. And that was 4 years ago. Not even like a full 4 years ago. So not even 4 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about YouTube. I wasn't thinking about making videos. I didn't know what I would go to school for. I didn't know how long I would be in school. I didn't know that I'd meet somebody over the internet and have to go through a long distance I mean, in high school, this is basically the outlook I had for my life. I was going to become a teacher, and I was going to teach in the public school system, and I had picked out a small little yellow house like 2 blocks away from the house that I've always lived in my whole life, and I would live there, and I would teach at the school that it is really close to, and that would be my life. I had no plans to ever meet anyone. I didn't want to meet anyone because it's not that I didn't want to be with somebody, it was just I didn't have the, I don't know how to explain it. I had been in relationships. It's not like I hadn't been in a relationship or anything like that, and it wasn't like they were all bad either, and I had sworn off men or whatever. But I, at the time, didn't feel like I either deserved to meet someone, because I was in a really bad place in high school. I didn't feel like I was good enough and all that kind of stuff. And so I resigned myself to never meeting anyone and being alone. And I told myself that I was okay with that and all that good stuff. And I accepted that. I started going to school as a English major. I was going to be an English teacher. She says that she has the worst grammar ever. Cannot spell worth a crap. I can spell. I just have issues with some words, especially with pronunciations. But that's what I originally was going to school for. Well, before I even went to school, I was going into elementary education. I was gonna make fun of one of my previous teachers. She used to say edumacation. She was a shitty teacher. She was one of the reasons why I was like, I should be a teacher because I would be better than that. At least I know how to say education. She was not a very educated person. I'm very serious. It was not just her pronunciation of education, it was a lot of things. She was a very uneducated person and very closed-minded and really did not teach the subject. She was just kind of there and wasted our time. But anyway, that's a story for a different day. That's the life I accepted. And almost as if to say, no, life completely changed. um, I was gonna originally at senior year, I was going to go all the way to the end of the state. I was going to go as far away as I could from home to a different school, and I didn't, because one day I got an email from the school and there were a lot of grammar mistakes, misspelled words, and I was like, if this is how they teach their students, then I'm not going there, because that's just bad. I mean, if you cannot write a simple email correctly in college, then I'm not going there. So I ended up going to my local school and living at home, and because I lived at home, I was able to I didn't have to take a job, and so I started gaming a whole lot, and made I was still working on my first channel, my first YouTube channel at that point. And so I was able to kind of explore this avenue because of living at home and not having to worry about day-to-day stuff that a lot of people do have to worry about in college. And I quickly got out of my English major and moved to geology. And because I loved everything about geology, I did. Notice the past tense there. I still do enjoy geology. I enjoy knowing and learning, and I enjoy science and all that stuff. I really do. I enjoy knowledge. I enjoy knowing these things. I really like knowing about Earth and about processes and all that stuff. And then I met one teacher, one professor. And first day of her class, and I know this is no excuse, but first day of her class, she handed back one of my paper, or we had taken a quiz and she handed it back, and it was pretty much, it said that you're gonna fail my class, you don't deserve to be a geology student, and all this stuff. And yeah, that's not an excuse, but I took it to heart and immediately gave up. Almost immediately. I read that, and for a while I fought back against it, but it was a struggle every day after that, and I got very discouraged. I talked to my advisor and was kind of like, so I have this problem and blah blah blah, and we talked about the trip that I have to take. There's a trip that is required. It's like $4,000. So that's another. And then I got to thinking about the debt and everything, and it really started weighing on me, and I gave up. I gave up in almost everything. Really getting that message from the professor just kind of killed my whole drive to be anyone, to I mean, it was so much like what my dad had told me when I was younger. I don't know if I've said it here. I had no reason to say it here before, but when I was younger, he took me to the side after I gotten my first C in high school, and he was like, "You're never gonna be anyone. You're never gonna be able to make it in life. You're gonna be just like your mother," which he meant as a you know, as a bad thing, but my mother was the better parent and all that. She was more loving and volunteered in church, at school, you know, all that good stuff. She was great. She definitely had her flaws, like we all do. But he was like, really, you're never gonna make it. You're not worth anything. I never wanted you, you know, all that good stuff. And it all just came back and I quit. And now here I am. When I started this channel, this one, I was kind of down and out. I still am a bit. I've got a lot of things that I need to work on. A lot. I mean, a hell of a lot of things. But when I started this channel, I think I had, let's see, did I start it up before Canada or after? I can't remember. But there was a lot of thought put into starting this channel. And honestly, this channel, I mean, it's done a lot for me. It's given me something to focus on, something to kind of bring myself back into focus. 'Cause that's something that I haven't had for a while. When I made the decision to quit school until I can figure out really what I wanted to do, because school's expensive. I fell out of focus. I didn't know what I wanted to do, of course. I mean, I had nowhere to go. People would ask me, you know, what do you want to do? You know, what do you like? And it was always, I really don't want to do anything. I don't like anything. I don't. And that sounds, once again, it sounds so pitiful. It sounds so antisocial, anti-everything, but it's true, you know. I didn't have anything that I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was good at. And still, there's still a lot of days that I sit down and I'm just like, I'm good at nothing. And I go through all the things that I quit, and I remind myself that I quit all these things. And how the fuck did we get from death to this? Fuck's sake. This shit's gotten too real. I didn't mean for it to get like this. Oh my god, I am so sorry. Ugh. But I've run so many times through all the things that I've quit, and now I've added another thing that I've quit. I mean, when I was 15, I quit playing soccer because people had told me that I was so bad at it, and it was around the same time that I broke a girl's leg in soccer, and I felt so bad, and I couldn't, it bothered me so much I couldn't sleep, because I had hurt this person, and because it was in a fit of anger too that I did it in a match. I didn't get a red card, by the way. I got a yellow card, but I didn't get a red card. I got benched for a little while to calm down, but I did get back into the game. But I eventually quit soon after that, and I was a musician. Once again, past tense. I played violin since the age of 4, and I quit soon. It was my either freshman or sophomore year of college. I was good enough that I could have gone into my school's program, but I'm a very shy person, and they require you to try out and I can't even play in front of one person on my own. So I eventually quit from disappointment in myself. You know, I was so disappointed that I couldn't do even that small task that I quit. I told myself I wasn't a worthy musician if I couldn't play in front of one person on my own. So I quit that. And then I started to quit writing. Because, once again, I told myself that I wasn't good enough for that. That there was no way that I could write a book and publish it. And yes, you know, you're supposed to write because you want to and all that stuff, but, you know, it had always been a goal of my family members, my past family members, and of myself to one day write a book that meant something to somebody else. And so even, you know, being able to write something that meant something to someone else would be good enough for me. But I told myself that, you know, I couldn't do that. And so I quit. And just like, let's see, today's Thursday, so just 2 days ago, I wrote my first piece of writing for the first time in 6 months or 7 months or something like that. And it was very rough. It was very, very bad writing because it's like a muscle, you know. If you don't work it, it kind of gets weak and rusty and all that good stuff. And but this recording and playing video games has really just kind of focused me and allowed me to start to figure out what I want to do. And some of my revelations have been kind of scary for me, and something that I've actually had anxiety attacks over and panic attacks and everything. And I've sat up at night thinking, you know, about my decisions and what I've, you know, the choices that I've made in my head and haven't vocalized yet because they scare me so much that I can't even figure out how to say what I've thought and stuff like that. And it's not like they're bad things. It's not like I'm thinking about killing myself or anything like that, but it's stuff like the kind of job that I would like, and stuff like that. You know, stuff that I've started to allow myself to consider again. And I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to get like to the subject. You know, this was going to be a serious conversation, of course, because it started out with talking about death and loss of loved ones, but I didn't expect for it to go that route, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that it's been all digging, but, you know, I've been working on this for the past week, digging all this out, and I need an episode tomorrow. Is basically what it comes down to. The next YouCraft episode is going to be our monthly update video. It's going to be talking about schedules and new series, old series, leaving, you know, stuff like that. And if you guys have any comments about how to make any of my series better, whether it be this one or Don't Starve or another Minecraft series, if you have a map in mind that you want to see me play, anything like that, leave a comment in the comment section below. Once again, I'm sorry that this got so serious and ran a little long. I usually try to keep these short, but I kind of got caught up in my own head a little bit. So, thank you all for watching. I am Angry Hippie Lady, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace out.